afternoon. Where's my microphone?
Good afternoon, everybody. Keith Engle here for TGI Sports Talks. Sunday stream of consciousness. We're back in upstate New York and better than ever. Get this music off here. I can't remember how to work it. There we go. How we doing, guys? Been a long time since we've been back in the studio. Welcome. I still hear something playing in my head. Hopefully you guys can hear me fine. I told you we'd catch up today at some point. We will. We won't go 2 hours here today, but we can go an hour maybe, or well, it depends on you guys. It's your show, as you know. Want to welcome everybody after an exciting Patriots win, a close call over the pesky Bengals today. Anyway, welcome everybody watching us right now on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. All the groups that will allow us to share this later. I get some feedback I'm hearing from this game here. All the groups, you can see our favorites, of course, at the bottom. John Gonzalez at Sport Authorities. Greg Rawlings at America's Pastime to Love Baseball. Flo and Can over at Bottom Line Sports. Catch their podcast. We're going to look for some of the stuff they've been doing and share some of it as we get caught up here at home. Just got home here at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Let's Talk Sports. We welcome them or thank them. And also Ken Krause at Golf Bud Sports of all sorts and all the others that let us share. Lots to catch up on, guys. We're watching the end of the Colts and Chiefs, which I bet the Chiefs -3, and it looks like we're going to either lose or tie. Big game for the Chiefs, I think, this game. Patriots, I said, with a big win. Interesting day in college football yesterday. We'll be waiting on a new coaches poll coming out. We haven't had a lot of chance to discuss a lot of baseball news, but we can talk about anything you want here for an hour or so. And then again, I'm going to go as long as you guys keep me here. So bring it. It's your show. Well, that's not it. Well, I'm not on the Venenzi either. What's going on with this? Let me fix this banner before we go any further here, because I'm not on the Venenzi anymore. Guys, what a great 2 weeks away. I want to thank the Carnival Cruise Line for sponsoring the show while we're there and not giving me any good internet to use. Just kidding. They didn't sponsor the show. Thank my brother and sister-in-law for allowing us to spend a couple 3 days with them as well in Inverness, Florida. We just flew in today. A little windy and cold coming into Albany, New York today, but let's talk about what's going on in the world of sports. College football winding down. We've got rivalry week next week. Nothing big as far as big games yesterday necessarily. USC, Oregon, probably the biggest game, and Oregon handled USC pretty convincingly, ending any hope they had of a playoff bid. Miami does win in an ugly fashion against Virginia Tech, but no help from above. They did get a little help, I guess, from Pitt beating Georgia Tech, but they also needed North Carolina and Bill Belichick to step up and beat Duke yesterday. That did not happen. I believe Miami still needs a win and 2 losses, a loss from Virginia against Virginia Tech, and also a loss for SMU against Cal. I know, Alan, if you're out there, you had said either or, but my understanding, and we can look it up again. And again, remember, I'm looking at stuff on the fly here the last couple of weeks. What was I going to say? It is not either or. It's both things have to happen the way I understand it. They need, and it's unlikely that either one of those things will happen, quite frankly. But there's about 15 combinations of ACC championship games that can happen. So we can talk about any of that went on in college football. We can talk about the pro football today. The Giants are giving the Lions all they can handle. Last I looked, that game was, I'm sorry, game's not in overtime. Lions pull it out 34-27. Patriots won 26-20. I did bet the Patriots today. We lost that game by half a point. Looks like we're going to lose on this Chiefs. Oh, hang on a second. Who's got the ball? Maybe I'm going to win this. Maybe I'm going to get a push here. That'd be good. Because it looks like the Chiefs may be kicking a field. That's not right. Chiefs have the ball at the Indianapolis 46. We're in a commercial break right now. What else has been going on? Bears. I bet the Bears minus 2.5. They did win by 3 today over the Steelers. Up and down day for the Bears again. Listen, I think this Bear team is playoff worthy. They're not championship worthy yet. And we'll talk about a lot of this stuff tomorrow on the Mac and Jack. Mac and Jack. Mac must be looking over us. The Jack and Keith Weekend Playbook here on Northeast Streaming Sports, National Streaming Sports. Little message from my buddy Mark. Agreed. Wins are wins now. Yeah, the Patriots didn't look good today. Drake May didn't play well. A lot of injuries for the Patriots. They lost nearly their, if not their whole offensive line, most of it. So it's going to be interesting what happens going forward. It will probably be the worst the Patriots have played since they lost to the Steelers early in the year. But you got to win these games too. You got to win the games that you got to grind out. So good job by the Patriots, and a nice win for them. Where else are we in the NFL? Let me get some other scores here. We don't normally do it this time of day, right? So we're kind of winging it. Again, we traveled this morning. I was able to get on this morning on the big football show for a while from the Tampa airport. So we got to spend time with the boys for the first time in a couple of weeks, and we'll be back on normal schedule. Jack and I will be live. I'll be in studio tomorrow morning with Jack at 8 a.m. Wednesday we'll be on with the Unprofessional Professional Sports Show at 6 o'clock on National Streaming Sports, and also my college football huddle will air its normal time. And Friday we'll have Mac and Mac again. Jack and Keith's Weekend Playbook. Oh, I see you guys out there. I see 6, 7, 10, 15. Nobody's commenting today, though. Everybody's watching football. That's the problem. That's why we do this show at 9 a.m. We're not distracted by games, and we get a push on the Chiefs game. So Chiefs win 23-20. Big win for the Chiefs, by the way. 5-5, falling to 5-6 at this point. Listen, I'm a guy who doesn't ever count the Chiefs out. People have been trying to write the Chiefs off for quite some time, and they haven't managed to do it. So what was I just going to look for here? Jeez, I don't even know what I was looking for. What else? Check out Michael Dighton Edwards' latest column on TGI Sports Talk as well. I guess we're looking at some scores. Chiefs. Oh, that's what I was saying. Don't ever count the Chiefs out. Everybody wants to write the Chiefs off. Everybody wants to write off whoever's doing well, right? We all want to knock the Chief down. No pun intended. When the Patriots were on top, it was the same thing, and we still get haters now with zero reason to hate this team. But nice one for the Patriots. Wins are wins now. You win on the road in the NFL, it's a win. So the Bears beat the Steelers. 3 touchdowns for Caleb Williams. Lions pull one out against the Giants. I'm going to guess if I look at these Jameson Winston stats, he's got at least 2 interceptions here. What do you think? 1 interception. Not so bad. 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Break up the Giants, but they lose. Packers beat up on the I don't know if beat up's the right word, but they probably have knocked the Vikings out of contention, I would say now. With a 23-6 win. Seahawks win over the Titans 30-24. Tough fought battle on the road. Give some of these teams credit that are out of it and haven't given up, like the Falcons. I talked about this morning. Ravens beat the Jets 23-10. Jets showed some fight early in this game. And, of course, Thursday night, the Texans beat up on the Bills. Geez, what a great defensive performance by the Texans Thursday night. What do we got here? There's a few guys here. There's Michael. Hello, Michael. Good to have you with us, my friend. Again, check out Michael's stuff. We just posted Something he posted at his site and sent me a couple of days ago. I apologize. I get up sooner, but we put it up yesterday and share it to my personal page. We'll share it to some other pages later tonight, tomorrow morning. And thank you. It's good to be home. Good to be in the studio. Always good to go on the road and have some fun, but it's always great to get home and get to your own surroundings as well. Listen, I got to tell you, I have never had a day of travel go as smoothly as this. Let me just give you an idea. My brother and sister-in-law brought us to my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, my wife's sister and husband, drove us from their house in Inverness to the Tampa airport, about an hour and 15 minutes, no traffic, no anything. About 7:15, we arrive at the airport, walk right up to baggage, check our baggage, not one person in line. This is Sunday before Thanksgiving, guys. 7:00 on a Sunday morning. We walked up to TSA pre-check. Nobody there. Bing, bing, bing. Done. I'm having a sandwich. I go on the air with the guys. The big football show, which I think Brian may have renamed, so I apologize if I didn't use the right name or I'm not using it now. We'll check that out. Plane loads. Boarding starts 5 minutes early. No problem boarding. We take off about 10 minutes early. I swear to God. We pull away from the gate. We don't even slow down. We don't get in line to take off. We don't even slow down. We just go right up the runway and take off. Perfect ride to Albany in about 20 minutes early. Little turbulence coming down. Nothing's bad. We walk, and if you don't know the Albany airport, it's small. It's an international airport because they have one flight to Montreal a week. We walk from the gate to baggage claim, stop to use the restroom, not 10 minutes. As we come around the escalator, turn around the escalator, we see our bags already. Grab the bags. I'm in and out of the airport. I swear to God, 12 minutes. I'm on the curb. My Uber driver's 1 minute away. So we're thinking we get home for the fourth quarter of the Patriots game. We were home for the end of the second quarter. We had a blast. So anyway, that's my day. We did make it safely. Had a great time. Great ride as a perfect travel day, guys. You can't top this. I'm thinking about never traveling again because I can never top this. I am the most frustrated traveler you will ever meet. The stream of consciousness has already started. I'm the most frustrated guy you'll ever see when I travel. I hate it. I love going places. I hate getting there. Today, stress-free. I may have grew hair today. So anyway, thank you, Michael. Hello, Chris. What do you got to say for yourself? Who's your favorite reclamation? I saw your correction there. That didn't work out for your baseball team growing up. Deion Sanders and the Miners for the Blue Jays. For you, I don't remember Deion being with the Blue Jays, but I don't doubt your recollection. He played here he played for the Yankees. I know he played here in Albany actually in Double-A when they still had a Double-A team here. Deion would not be it. No. For the Yankees, a guy who washed out with the Yankees and did well elsewhere. Not a lot. There's a lot of guys that were flashing the pans here. Kevin Moss, Shane Spencer. I mean, you could say Jose Rio a little bit. He was traded in a Ricky Henderson trade, though. I mean, he didn't do great here while in his couple of chances with the Yankees. I don't know if he got a chance with the Yankees. I think he got a short stint with the Yankees. I'm sure there's others if I sat and thought about it. A lot of busts here, I can tell you that. It's too funny, Chris. Let me think on that. I'll come up with one, I promise you. You're welcome, my friend. Paul Spada. Sorry, Paul. I've been away. Haven't worked on my name pronunciations. Nice win today for the Patriots. You get a nice win from your Oregon Ducks yesterday. By the way, again, I think I was you to put up yesterday about Dan Lanning saying on game day yesterday he's staying in Oregon forever. Don't believe these guys. Please. As I think I commented, right? Go see Nick Saban and every comment he made when he was at Miami. about the Alabama job. I hope he stays there for your sake. I don't see it happening. You're not going to see guys. He's a young guy. You think he's coaching 30 years at Oregon? I don't. I don't think anybody's coaching 30 years any place anymore. I don't think anybody's coaching 20 years anymore. We'll tell you when we talk about college football, though, and college football coaches, Lane Kiffin is shooting him and his team in the foot by letting this, and again, this conversation, he didn't start it, but it's run amok now. It's running amok. His family's flying to Florida. His family's flying to LSU. He says he's making a decision Friday after the Egg Bowl. He's going to be the highest paid coach in college football, whatever he does. But if this team beats Mississippi State, if this team is in the playoff, which they're going to be, by the way, probably win or lose, and he doesn't coach because he's taking another job, this would be historic. We've had coaches that didn't coach in bowl games, but not for teams that had a chance at a national championship. And that's not even to mention, he shouldn't be even thinking about leaving Mississippi because they're going to pay him. He's going to get NIL money, and he's not going to have the same expectations he's going to have, in a lot of ways unrealistic, at LSU and Florida. He's a god in Mississippi. He could write his own ticket. Dan Lanning, same way in Oregon. Always going to be enticed by either the money, and I don't think it's about money. He's going to get money no matter what they perceive as the next challenge. You know? I mean, Dan Lanning did say no to Alabama from what we know. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. Top things, Keith Engle did not say well on a cruise. Why cannot it be cold here like at home? It's funny. We got on the plane, and by the way, Florida's not that warm right now. It's the high was it was 80, right? But no humidity. Beautiful. This is the time of year if you're going to Florida, you need to go in November, December, January, February. That's really the only time I want to be there because it was gorgeous. We sat outside. Humidity wasn't bad. Very humid this morning. 50 degrees at night. They don't have a heater in their pool yet. They just moved, and recently it was only 60 degrees in the pool. Myself and my brother-in-law took a swim on Friday, took a swim on Saturday. Nothing like that cold water for these old bones, I can tell you right now. But we get home, and we left. It was 60 this morning. I get home, it's 30. Rain, snow. And my Uber driver, because we left my car at the bus, Yankee Trails bus, where we took to the port in New York to go down. We'll pick it up tomorrow morning. But our Uber driver was from the Sudan. I said, so you moved here for the weather? I got to be a smart ass all the time. I don't miss the cat. I did miss the cat. Cruise ships putt-putt rocks. No. We didn't say that either. You've never seen lamer putt-putt courses, miniature golf courses, than you've seen on cruise ships, I can tell you right now. We did play at a course in somewhere near Inverness in Florida where my brother and sister-in-law live. Something happened to my computer here. It was a really not a bad course, actually. And I actually won. I never win at miniature golf. And, I get berated like, I thought you were a golfer. Like miniature golf is related to real golf in any way, shape, or form. In any event, I did play very well on this moderately difficult course. And I beat everybody else for the first time. I don't know if I've ever beat my wife, quite frankly, at miniature golf. But I did this trip. Had 2 hole-in-ones, which kind of turned the tide for me. The vegetarian plate for dinner. You know what, Michael? I will tell you, I didn't have any, but I have had there's a vegetarian option that Carnival has that is really, really good. It's like an Indian dish, and it's really, really good. I've had it, and I will tell you this, though. You guys know that I have been on a weight loss crusade. And I was having trouble. I wasn't having trouble. I was actually being very careful with what I ate. Kept up with the noon lessons that I do and whatnot. Had breakfast and dinner. Did not eat lunch, which is, by the way, you eat 4-5 meals a day at a cruise ship if you want to. I had no lunch. Had a good sized breakfast, a good sized lunch, and we walked forever. I took the stairs everywhere on the ship because we were on deck 7. You could go up to 10 to the Lido, 11 to the sports deck, down to 4, 5 where a lot of the entertainment was. The Amari bar was there. Our dining room was on either 4 or 3. So we used the stairs. I used the elevator like once in 2 weeks. So I walked a lot. Tried to weigh myself in the fitness center on the ship, but it's 2 things. It's in kilograms, which I can do the math, but it won't ever stop. You're on a cruise ship, right? So you're not really, it thinks you're jumping up and down. Goddamn thing would never stop. So, and I was wavering like 7 or 8 kilograms, which is a lot. Anyway, long story short, I get to my in-laws on Thursday, and Friday morning I said, I need to use your scale. I was 1 pound less than when I left. Yesterday I get on the scale, I was 3 pounds less than when I left, and we've been out to dinner twice by that point in time. Haven't been on my scale yet to kind of verify that, but by all accounts, I went on a cruise and lost 3 pounds once the water weight was off for that one day. I'm happy as a lark. No vegetarian dishes either. Lunch, breakfast and dinner. You're stressed. Take a cruise, buddy. I'm telling you right now. Nice win for the Lions. Listen, you guys are going to get a lot of grief. Let me go back to your stress here. You're going to get a lot of grief because the Giants gave you a hard time. Just like I said about the Patriots, I'm not stressed about that win today. They asked you, and I said it this morning, you guys hear me, and I say it all the time, right? Yeah, we got a little functionality issue here with the I don't know what keeps doing that. Hopefully you can hear me now. Let me go down here. Make sure. Don't let people tell you that's not a good win. You go on a road in the NFL and win, it's a good win. This time of year, unless teams have totally quit, if they're out there playing hard, the Giants are playing hard, the Jets are playing hard, the Bengals are playing hard, Falcons aren't playing hard. Wins, they ask you how many, not how. I watched the Patriots. I said it this morning again. Jack said, "Oh, you're pulling out all these close wins and smoke and mirrors and blah, blah, blah." Well, the team he loves to go to the Super Bowl has done exactly that, by the way, the Buccaneers. I don't care. Winning those games makes you better. Winning tight games and hard-fought battles make you better. I watched the Patriots in 2017 go 16-0, beat teams by an average of like 25 or 30 points a game. Might be an exaggeration, but it wasn't that far off. And lose the Super Bowl. There's no guarantees here. Take your win. It's a good win. By the way, next week and your Michigan team beats Maryland, not impressively, but you're alive. You go and beat Ohio State. Maybe I'm wrong. You go beat Ohio State. You're in. Make sure you don't have 2 losses. I talked to Brian about this, and I didn't get a chance to check myself. It's going to come down to you or Oregon. You didn't play Oregon, correct? I don't know what the tiebreaker is. You got a chance at the Big Ten championship game. Anyway, non-alcoholic Shirley Temple. I didn't have any non-alcoholic drinks. Shirley Temples. I did not another reason I was able to maintain weight wise was I did not drink a lot. I had about, I normally I'd go down, before dinner, and I'd have 2 or 3 old fashions, bourbon old fashions before dinner. I had 5 old fashions all week, and imports, because I like to sample the local beers around the Caribbean, which are probably all made by the same brewery, by the way. Carib, Douchey, Falstaff, something like that. But I had maybe, 6 beers, 7 beers all week as well. So I didn't drink a lot. Thank goodness for the in-room blow dryer for my hair. Oh my God, this is an awesome game we're playing, Michael. You're Chris. You started us off, and you've done a great job sending Michael off on my head now. Oh, the safety announcement last Sunday, the show was so much fun. Yeah, those are always fun. Anytime I try to go live, I swear to God, they come on with one of those things. It's good that they're doing them, right? And we only get bothered. Well, if you're off the ship in port, you're not getting bothered at all. But get it maybe twice in 2 weeks. It's not bad. Worse for the crew. They got to do a full safety drill, right? So it wasn't just, hearing the alarms and whatnot. They're going through the whole thing. They're putting the lifeboats in the water and everything. I missed the government shutdown and travel days. I was praying. Great job, Democrats, by the way. Shut the government down for 40 days and get nothing. Good job. Tell me again who shut the government down. I don't remember. Only one Republican voting no when they finally opened it back up. And how many? I'm talking about the Senate and in the House. How many Democrats voted no? Again, who shut the government down? Anyway, I was very happy that got solved when it did, because we had a better than a week, I guess, to get things straightened out in the airlines. I think after they reopened the government, by Monday they lifted all the air restrictions, so everything was cool. Listen, who's affected? Brilliant, just great strategy. No, Jane. My wife did get a piece of jewelry on vacation. I bought myself a new watch as well, which is my little Piccadilly. This is a what they call a Skyhawk, right? It's actually modeled after the Blue Angel watches. You're not going to get a good look at this. It's really a hot watch, I got to tell you. It's a modeled after the watches, the Blue Angels. Where they couldn't use a Blue Angel name, obviously, so they called it the Skyhawk. It's a Citizens. My last couple watches and Citizens as well. I tend to buy watches when I go on these cruises. So. Red Yanks Sanders. Reds, Braves too. He played with. So I'm trying to remember him with the. Blue Jays. Chris, help me out. Hello, Michael. Michael Gott, how are you? Is that Michael Gott? It is. Is that a different email for you or again? Can't tell. Good to have you with us, my friend, over in England. So you're already at 10 o'clock at night. What football did you watch today, my friend? What did you get over there in the games we decided to send you or you guys take from us? I don't know what it is. But it's all good. But good to have you with us, Michael. We're back. Remember, everything will be back on schedule this week. But my wife reminded me we're away again in 65 days. Got a cruise in the end of January. We'll be there for the Super Bowl. My brother and sister-in-law will join us for that one. And then we have one in July to Alaska, which they were booking all the flights and excursions. We spent more money yesterday sitting there watching college football and by the pool than I did on the cruise. How about Danny Ainge? That's a good one. Well, he amounted to something in basketball. He never amounted to anything in baseball. I think Chris's point was they went on to amount to something. Maybe John Gonzalez can come up with somebody. Hello, John. John from the Sports Authorities. You see scrolling at the bottom, one of our favorite admins. John's been with us since the beginning, as I always say. John Chris had mentioned earlier, John, about Yankee phenoms that really kind of flamed out, but went on to play well somewhere else. And I'm having trouble coming up with somebody. I know there's got to be guys out there, and I'm just not coming up. Steve Balboni, maybe he was traded, I believe. But they did play else. He played fairly well elsewhere. Steve Alboni might be a good one. Not a star. We couldn't have John Gonzalez with us. KC wins. I did get a push on that. I thought they were going to score a touchdown there. They had first. I didn't have that game on. I had the Patriots on my app I shouldn't talk about that I slingshot to my TV. But I believe they had the ball first and goal at the 2. I thought they'd score and get a win out of this game, and we did not. So, but a nice win. Kansas City needs to win. A lot of us sitting on my side of the screen have talked about the Chiefs, and when they got healthy and when they got everybody back from suspensions and whatnot, would get it together and likely be the best team in the AFC. Kansas City hasn't looked that way. Today they did. You know where they haven't? I think Brian brought it up this morning. That last year, winning game or one-score games, they were 12-0 last year. This year, 0-7. They don't have that end-of-game confidence that they've had in the past. Not just last year, but throughout their run here. They have been excellent end-of-game situations, and this year they haven't been. This was a good one. They came back. They tied this game. They were down, I want to say, 10 in the fourth quarter. But nice win, I think, for the Chiefs. And listen, the culture's still for real. I think they proved that they're contenders today as well. Real contenders. We know they're a good team. They're 9-2. You are what your record says you are. Fat bastard told me that. Chris, what do you got here? 2 names I love to see as hitting coaches, Luis and Juan Gonzalez. Luis Gonzalez. I feel like he coached somewhere, but maybe not. Juan Gonzalez, 2 really good hitters. Luis got much better much later in his career, which I'm sure makes one wonder why. But a fine player, a professional player. I liked him a lot. Juan Gonzalez, big guy. When I think about pure hitters, I think Luis Gonzalez a little bit more than Juan, and I could be wrong. But they'd probably make good hitting coaches. Nobody chokes up now and abandons their home run swing, Chris. That's nobody teaches that. So you're right. We need somebody who does do that. Pete Rose was a manager, never a hitting coach, but he probably could teach guys about hitting a little bit, you think? He said, guys mess with their strokes way too much. He says, you do nothing but a couple of things. You move up back in the box. You move up in the box. You chuck up on the bat. You move inside. You move outside. You don't change your swing. It's like 5 things, he said he would tell guys. That's it. Steve Fisher, Michigan head coach, took over for Bill Frieder and won a championship. That's basketball. That's a great point. I was referring more to they weren't in the mix. They were not. Yeah, they weren't in the mix. They had been eliminated from the playoff chase before he took that job. Their season was over. He didn't coach their bowl game. In fact, I think Marcus Freeman might have coached that bowl game. I'm not sure. But and again, a lot of guys. Chip Kelly again. Brian Kelly left Cincinnati. He got Cincinnati when they were part of Conference USA. I think maybe the Big East. I can't remember now because it's a while ago. But he got him to a Sugar Bowl. Might have played LSU. when he left for the Notre Dame job and didn't coach there. But Steve Fisher is a good example on the basketball side. On the football side, there's never been anybody who's been, again, when I didn't say they weren't in the mix. Their regular season was over before he took the LSU job. I mean, it's a good example, but it's funny that he's a guy who left before his team. Cincinnati playing in the Sugar Bowl is a huge deal, and he didn't coach. And that happens to a lot of coaches today in the bowl games. It's never happened to anybody in the playoff. And by the way, and I don't think there's ever been this kind of sorry, now I'm tongue-tied. Lane Kiffin, who I like. You see me talk about this guy a lot. This is typical Lane Kiffin, though. The man self-sabotages himself all the time. This team is a legitimate championship contender, and he's a distraction. Because there's no way. By the way, he takes that job, he's gone. He's not coaching. If he takes an LSU or Florida job this Friday, and something tells me, because he's going to have the highest paid coach in college football no matter what happens. Either at Mississippi, where he should just stay, or moving on. I like this. Something's going on here I don't like. I don't know what it is. But he's sabotaging his own team right now. And I'd have to look back at Notre Dame's record that year, Michael, but it's a little – I get why you would go there, but it's a little bit different situation. Remember, there was only 4 teams in the playoff. They weren't making the playoff that year. You do it for the movies. In the beginning of writing a Major League, Charlie Sheen could throw 83 miles an hour. He tells now of how he roided up for the movie and could hit 93. You know, I had it downloaded actually to watch on a plane or some point, you know, during some downtime on vacation. Charlie Sheen has a two episode, I don't know, Being Charlie Sheen or something like that. I don't know. I haven't watched it yet. I'd be very shocked if Charlie Sheen was throwing 93 miles an hour. He might say he was. But I'd be shocked if he actually was. But Charlie's an interesting cat for sure. We're going to roid up for a movie. Because the gun's going to say 100 no matter what you do. I don't think so, Michael. Let me just take a look at the rankings. We'll have a better idea Tuesday about this. Just beating Ohio State will not put them in the playoff. It won't. They got to win the Big Ten, I think. Just one man's opinion. They're 15 now. So they'd have to jump over, because remember, the 12 you have right now doesn't include the ACC winner or a group of 5. So 11 and 12 are right out. So Michigan's got to jump over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams. Well, 5 teams. I'm not sure they're going to do that. If BYU doesn't win the Big 12, I suppose, and if BYU loses another game, they could jump over BYU. If Vanderbilt loses another game, they could jump over Vanderbilt. I don't think they're jumping over Miami, nor should they. They could jump over Utah. I guess it's not out of the realm of possibility, but I was more referring to the Big Ten championship. And I don't know what the tiebreaker is for them in Oregon. I'm guessing common opponents or strength of schedule. Again, convoluted, just like the ACC, just like the SEC. It's going to come down to these wacky tiebreakers because of unbalanced schedules, 9-game seasons, no divisions, 16, 18 teams. Chaos. Time is it? Rule changes in hockey, players are huge, faster, and the rule changes are necessary for safety versus players. Their sizes in the 50s. Any gripes in the safety? Nah. The NFL, here's the no. Well, yes, I have. I think all of these leagues, and again, when we're talking about safety, it depends. I had a lot of gripes with the NFL about kickoff rules, changing it for saying it was for safety, right? Because now these guys can't get running starts and all this other stuff. It's only the most exciting play in football. I hated the change in the kickoff rules. This year, a second year into it, I'm starting to kind of be okay with it. But other rules, I mean, there's in the NFL, there's too many rules about safety. Too many. You can't legislate the violence out of the game. I understand what you're saying, Chris, because the same thing's true in every sport. Players are bigger, stronger, faster. But you can't take the physical part out of the game and the violent part of football. You can't take out of the game. It's part of the attraction. And the guys know what they're getting themselves into. They've made a lot of equipment changes in football to protect players. You can't eliminate concussions. You can't do it. You're never going to eliminate knee injuries and arm injuries. You're just not going to do it. And trying to legislate and change the game to where you're going to end up playing flag football, you're going to ruin the sport. Hockey might be better without some of the physicality. I'm not as ingrained in the culture of the NHL and hockey in general as I am in other sports. But rule changes, in the name of safety, aren't always that good, or even what they expect them to be. Oh, what do you got here? Proud of my drinking disciplines. You gained 26 pounds in the Dominican. I should have followed your lead. Listen, I've been on cruises where I've gained easily 10, 15 pounds. 26 is a lot. I'm not sure how long you were there. But the last two times we've gone, and the last time was really nothing to be proud about because I had ballooned up by February. The stress of the last year of working was just outrageous. And I'm a stress eater. Drinking doesn't help. I've really gotten myself disciplined now, and I drink on Sunday during football. And I haven't had any today, by the way. I don't know why I'm a little amped up here, but I haven't had a drink today. But Sundays, I'll go out and have a few light beers, with the boys watching some football. Not today because we were on a plane. But I don't have anything all week long. My son-in-law come over and I can tell he wants to drink, and I'm like, I'm not gonna. I've been very disciplined this time around, so I'm down about 23 pounds right now. Long ways to go if I want to keep going, but I'm very happy with that so far. Thanks for reading the entire top lens of things, Keith. Let's say the group. Did we get 10 of those in there? But seriously, we're so grateful you're back and healthy and ready to lead our community. Well, I don't lead anywhere, man. You guys, I go where you guys take me. There's no leader here. We're all alpha dogs. This is a pretty good group of alpha dogs, by the way. I love it. I love this watch. Could have been cheaper, but I like a nice. It's funny. I like a big face, really big face, and it's heavy. I like a heavy watch. I bought a couple new coffee mugs too. I like a nice, big, heavy mug. And a watch, same thing. I like it weights my hand down. Thank you. Today you got decent NFL choices today. Bears, Steelers. That looked like it was a pretty good game. Chiefs and Colts turned out pretty good. That's good. It's a repeat, but you got the Eagles and Cowboys in there later. Good. Jags and Cardinals. Tampa and the Rams looks good. What game's in right now? I don't even have a game. I I got sailboat racing on here. I got to find some sports. Hold on. Let me find a ball game. Oh, there it is right there. Cowboys. Let me go back. Put them on right there. Should put that mute on. I don't know if you guys can hear that nonsense on the TV or not. Not bad, though. Not crazy about that Jags-Cardinals matchup. But we listen, in my market, it's a good thing I've got the app that I have. I thought I probably shouldn't have. Or I'd be watching the Jets and Giants every Sunday. That's what was on at 1 o'clock when I got home, or 2 o'clock when I got home. Oh, what do you got here? Notre Dame is peaking at the right time. Notre Dame scored 21 points yesterday before the offense touched the football. With about 2 minutes left and a half, or 2 minutes left in a quarter, they had 35 points with 34 seconds of time of possession. So I told my brother-in-law, who's a big Notre Dame fan, he's like, that's a lot. I was going to bet the over, and I said, I don't know if Notre Dame's going to have to get them all the points. It was 56. And sure enough, they got 70, as Michael says here. It's a statement, without a doubt, Michael. I mean, look at. You can make an argument, and one of the big arguments right now in college football, we'll talk more about this on Wednesday night, I'm sure, is Notre Dame versus Miami resumes, right? I believe this latest poll, and it probably won't change a lot, Notre Dame was 9 and Miami was 13. Miami's got 3 top 20 wins. Notre Dame has none. I'm sorry, 1. USC, my bad. Oregon, before yesterday, Oregon was the only team in the country without, well, not the only team in the country, the only team in the top 10 without a top 20 win. Now they have 1. But Notre Dame had 1. Still has 1. That 1 was over USC. Miami beat Notre Dame, first game of the season, at home. So one of their signature wins is over the team that they're chasing. The resumes are very close. And I'm not going to tell you that Notre Dame doesn't going to belong, because it belongs in over Miami. I'm a Miami fan. I'm going to tell you right now, Notre Dame, and I haven't seen, Ohio State hasn't been tested. Week 1 against Texas, yes. Again, if you want to throw out Notre Dame, Miami, you better throw that out. Ohio State hasn't been tested. Notre Dame is as good as any team in the country. They're the 3rd best team without knowing how good Indiana's been tested with that trip to Penn State. Backs to the wall, 36 seconds left. They come back and they win that game. Ohio State hasn't had that game. And it's hard to, when you're looking at, people say, oh, who's better, Ohio State, Indiana, Notre Dame. I don't know who's better. Until they play each other, I don't know. I will tell you, though, that there's no way right now Notre Dame isn't one of the top 3 teams in the country. And Marcus Freeman, I spent a lot of time defending him on this show for 4 years. I jumped off his bandwagon for a couple of weeks after that and the Northern Illinois loss last year. Marcus Freeman is one of the best coaches in the country. And if a guy should stay somewhere 20 or 30 years, as I talked about not happening earlier in the show, it should be him. There's no other college football team you should want to coach than Notre Dame. Brian Kelly, worst fit in the history of college football. He could have stayed at Notre Dame for life. All he's got to do is contend for national championships. They'd have been happy. Great point about Kelly in Cincinnati. Definitely Kiffin's a legit distraction. This is not good. And here's the thing, Michael. If they were going to come up with the money in Mississippi, they would have, don't you think? Look at the other coaches. Signetti, Mike Elko, couple other guys sign extensions to take that distraction away. This program and the coach got together and said, let's get this done. It's a distraction, and let's nip it in the bud right now. I have no idea what that saying means. I think it's a gardening thing. I don't know. But Mississippi and Lane Kiffin have let this story just snowball. So, no question. Yes, he should stay at Ole Miss. Yeah, he had his run at the pros. I could see Lane in the pros at some point. But I wouldn't coach elsewhere in college. What's the point? You can make your money and you go. I mean, look at LSU's got tons of national championships. Florida's got a bunch of national championships. Alabama's got a bunch of national championships. Texas got a bunch of national championships. Wherever you want to talk about coaches or quarterbacks, because I said this about Arch Manning, by the way, when he was choosing the school. Go to Ole Miss and win. Coach at Ole Miss and win, and you will be a mythic hero. Just another coach who won a national championship at LSU. Ed Orgeron won a national championship at LSU, for God's sakes. Anyway, no college job better than what he has. For him, there's better college jobs, Michael. I'm not saying LSU and Florida aren't better jobs. They are. Whole different set of expectations. Same with Notre Dame. You're not expected to win a national championship every year. It'd be nice if you won one now and again. But now they're happy to contend. If Florida and LSU, they think they're Alabama and Georgia. They're not. Giants are a disgrace, says John. Were you working the game today, John? I will tell you this. Heisman, Mendoza, I think, still wins a Heisman. But I will tell you that Jeremiah Love put himself in the finals yesterday. He will be a finalist. He'll be a top 3 guy, guaranteed. And if a running back is going to win, it could be him. They didn't give it, I know, to a guy with better stats in Giante last year. But Jeremiah Love is a real deal. He had a Heisman-type game yesterday. He averaged 20 freaking yards a carry. I think Mendoza wins. Mendoza had his moment, right? We talked about this. I think we talked about it last week. And his moment was that 36-second drive for a touchdown to beat Penn State and keep their national championship hopes alive. Jeremiah Love, while he's a great player, hasn't had that moment. He did give the Heisman pose yesterday, but I do think Mendoza wins, John. But I do think Love finishes in the top 3 and gets invited to New York as a finalist. The quarterbacks have all kind of faded. And I know it wasn't against great competition, but please, Arch Manning had a tremendous day yesterday. And let's stop saying he's the biggest bust in the history of college football. Can we please? He set an all-time SEC record for quarterbacks yesterday, scoring touchdowns, throwing, passing, and running. Accounted for 6 touchdowns yesterday. The kid is getting better. Give him a freaking break. Arch, I'll tell you right now that Arch Manning wins a Heisman next year. There you go. I tune in for this one man's opinion. I love this debate we share. Which one? I debate everything. Again, Michael, I'm sure I've used this line since you've joined our little gathering here. What's going on there? 21-0 Eagles. Jeez. Cowboys defense is atrocious. I wasn't going to say, Michael, my opinions. I live, and I probably said this since you joined our little gathering, as I call it. I live by Billy Packer's credo of I'm often wrong, but never in doubt. So there you go. Michael, what do you got for me? You think your Pats are a real deal now, or just no? I think it is not. Well, the injuries today. I've got to find out what happens with the injuries today. Quite frankly, and this is a great example of how expectations and what's the other word that I used this morning in different times? Well, expectations is enough, I guess, and perception changes. Before the season, you told me we'd have 9 wins. We now have 10. If you told me we had 9 wins and we were contending for the playoffs, I'd have been happy as a lark. I'm not happy with that. To the first part of your question, am I happy with just the playoffs? No. They're the real deal. This is a legitimate Super Bowl contender. I'm not saying they're going to win because the AFC's wide open. I'm saying that because there's no team that stands head and shoulders over anybody else in the AFC. And probably not the NFC either. But just the AFC alone, Patriots can beat any of these teams. Any of these teams on the right Sunday. I worry a little they peaked a little early. I'm worried now about injuries and depth, especially along that offensive line. I must have saw 5 guys go down today. So, yeah. Super Bowl is not a stretch. Not anymore. This team's going to win 13 games. 12 anyway. And, yeah, right now, just getting to the playoffs is not enough. That's how perception, that's how expectations can change as the season progresses. 2000 County Stadium. Huh? 2000 County Stadium pitching. My age is left field. Listen, I'm 65. To hit 93, I probably have to throw it 3 times now. I can still throw the ball. I throw the ball a lot. I have a ball and glove in my car at all times. So softball and a baseball because I'll throw with my nieces. Throw with my future daughter-in-law. And they're all good athletes, man. I throw with them. But my arms hurts afterwards. And I can throw a couple, not like I used to, but, you know, like a 35-year-old man, not a 20-year-old man. But yeah, it hurts, Paul. I get it, man. So I might get it. I might get to 93 with a couple, if you add a couple of tosses. John says Ohio State, Texas A&M championship. Buckeyes win. I won't argue right now. I got to see the matchups now. Right now, there's very little reason for me to predict a matchup when I don't know what the brackets are going to look like. Because if they end up on the same side of the bracket, you're screwed, right? But it's reasonable to think that. What is A&M doing? What is Georgia doing again? Scheduling cupcakes in week 11? Come on, please. Ohio State gets Rutgers. At least it's a league game. You got to play them. You don't need to be playing Samford and Furman. That was Clemson. You don't need to be playing those games in week 11. Play them in freaking, Labor Day weekend. But that's as good a pick as any. They're both going to make the playoff. Ohio State, I don't know how good they are. And personally, it's just me. I don't think anybody can tell you how good Ohio State is because they haven't been tested. That's one of the reasons I like the teams. And again, it's not their fault. You can only play the teams on your schedule other than the ones that you can go out and schedule. They did go out and schedule Texas, and they beat Texas. Unfortunately, that was like 4 months ago. And recency bias comes into play. Texas might give Ohio State a better game now, or worse. Both teams, Nobody's, staying the same. You're either getting better or you're getting worse. So I don't know how good Ohio State is. When we talk about A&M, we talk about Indiana. I don't know how good they are until they start playing each other. I mean, you can argue that Indiana hasn't really been tested. Well, they did go to Oregon and win. So you look at those top 10 teams, who's got the best win? Probably Indiana. I mean, if I look at that quickly, right, and I just look at the top 10, Ohio State's best wins over Texas. Not in the top 10. Indiana beat Oregon, who's number 5. A&M beat Notre Dame, who's number 9. Who Georgia beat? Georgia doesn't have a top 10 win. Maybe they beat Alabama. Who did they beat? Didn't get in. Ole Miss. No, they lost Ole. Oh, they beat Ole Miss. Sorry, my bad. 43-35. Correct. Ole Miss is their best win. So number 5. Number 6. Again, what do you got to look at? Until they play each other, it's all, we're dealing in abstracts, right? I know we have to do it, or we have nothing to talk about. I get that. Damn this phone, I can't see what I write until I hit send. I make a mistake, I can't tell. Don't worry, Paul. I'm starting to be able to decipher it. Don't worry. College football show this Wednesday night. Absolutely, 7 p.m. Eastern. Michael will be on, and we will be. Everything's back to normal this week. Jack and we did the Jack and Keith's weekend playbook live last Friday from Florida, and I'm back in the studio here for the next 2 months before we travel again. We're on a different cruise line, so we'll see. Maybe the internet will be better. But yes, so to give you the shows, tomorrow morning, 8 a.m., Jack and Keith's weekend playbook. Wednesday is the college football huddle, and I'll be on the professional sports show before that at 6. Friday, we'll have Mac I did it again. Hey, Mac, hope you're doing okay. Jack and Keith's weekend playbook again Friday morning. MLB update. We'll probably do an MLB update on Friday as well. We'll see how much we continue that each and every Friday during the off season. Depends how much news there is, probably. And of course, the stream of consciousness and my appearances on the big football show on Sundays will be back to normal for the next 2 months anyway. But Jack is ready to resume his savant status. He resumed it on Friday, actually, in stunning fashion. Marcus Freeman may be my favorite. I think he's a top 5 coach in the country. And Michael despises Notre Dame, and he likes Marcus Freeman. We know you're a diehard Wolverine fan. It's got to kill you to see C.J. Carr going out there and playing so great. How come Lloyd Carr doesn't have any pull to get that kid to Michigan? Well, you got like Bryce Underwood. I guess you don't really need C.J. Carr. C.J. Carr's been an exceptional true freshman this year, by the way. Speaking of Wolverines, yes, they indeed beat the Ohio State Buckeyes again, though it will be close. And Coach Moore will coach Michigan for as long as he wants to endure the North winters. That's possible. Right now, I can't sit and say anybody's going to. I take everything with a grain of salt that coaches say. Coaches will say, "I'm here for life. I don't want to go anywhere else." Well, then, stuff changes and they start looking, and then other stuff changes, and, now the powers that be at the university aren't so enamored with that guy anymore, and they start helping him find a new job. But Sherrod Moore's done a great job, I think. B. Kelly's better suited to chewing on plastic grass than leading a group of men. and a quality program. He has embarrassed himself. Listen, Brian Kelly had a pretty good legacy before LSU, and it shows you how one misstep, and from the minute he got there, I talked to some LSU fans the other day on a cruise ship, and I said he lost all credibility the minute he got there, and he put on a fake Cajun accent at a basketball game. Be who you are. Brian Kelly is a bad fit for the Southeast all along. He's a Midwest guy. I can see. And Brian Kelly, I believe, by the way, there's going to be lawsuits back and forth here. There's a lot of chatter that LSU wants to sue him and fire him now for cause so they don't have to pay him. Now, again, cause is not losing. Cause is you didn't put forth your best effort to make this program what you said you would. That you played golf too much. That you didn't have the best interest of the university in mind. That you didn't even learn your players' names. Lazy is cause to get fired. I see Sonia posting. I don't know if you're out there, Sonia. What's the score of your game there? Well, they're playing tonight, aren't they? When do they play? They might be playing right now. Falcons leading the Saints. Where's the 40? Oh, they're tomorrow night, right? 49ers? Yeah, tomorrow night. Yeah, he has embarrassed himself, without a doubt. Another guy should have stayed where he was. He was perfect fit for Notre Dame. Eddie O can't even spell his own last name, and you want to change. That's what I'm saying. Ed Orgeron. Hello. I don't know who we got here. I can't check out BIU 2330. Tell me who this is. Who do you root for? I got a feeling I know who this is. I'm trying to see the what do you call this thing here? Your profile picture. John Gonzalez. Giants are not a disgrace. They were shooting 2 bullets versus 6 bullets. They gave it their best in respect to Jay Winston. He was amazing. Look, the organization's a mess. The players are playing hard. I'll give the players credit. 100%. I do think firing Brian Daboll when you do it again, this is a situation where I would not have fired the coach. Nothing to be gained. Except maybe Kafka goes out there and wins a couple games and you got another Antonio Pierce situation on your hands. But I give any players who are winning, got 2 or 3 or 4 wins right now and going out there and busting their tails. The Giants did it today. The Jets did it for a while. I think they're playing hard. I don't think they've quit. The Bengals did it today. To me, I said it this morning, and I know they're winning right now, but to me, the Falcons have laid down. Just flat out quit on their coach. Arch Manning laid a smackdown on everyone that said he was nothing better than Urkel. ABC. Now it was against Arkansas. By the way, Bobby Petrino steps down as the interim coach. They already fired their head coach, Sam Pittman, Arkansas. Bobby Petrino, who had coached them before and had thrown his name into the sweepstakes for the permanent gig, and didn't look like that had any traction, rightly so. That's I'm sorry, I'm looking ahead at the comments. Anyway, where was I? You guys fool me sometimes. You come in under different screen names. What was I ranting about here? I don't even know what I was ranting about. Good to see you, buddy. I got to get out of here soon myself. I'm going to go a few more minutes. Got to dip out. Good conversations. Appreciate you as well, Michael. Have a good one, buddy. Now it's JB. Now I know who it is. I think. JB. Guys throw those different screen names at me. I get confused. You know, I was talking to my wife about the interview, or I was talking to my brother-in-law about the interviews because he was talking. He saw the one with Mike Westhoff. I had a blast doing that. Wesley Walker, Richard Todd. He's a big Jet fan. I miss doing them, JB, but it's so much work chasing these guys around. And I may do it. I may, but one a month or something. I can't do the weeklies anymore. Just too much chasing guys. They don't show. You have to pivot. I do enjoy doing them though. God, I was thinking about the Mike Westhoff one. I had so much fun. He was so easy to talk to. I don't get intimidated doing these things. I've been doing them for 5 years, and in the beginning I was nervous. 2 or 3 interviews, that was gone. Mike Westhoff, I was intimidated by. I don't know why. Before I did it, I thought I was going to talk to a different guy, a different personality. He was so engaging, so much fun. So I don't know. But anyway, check out JB in the Back It Up Binge podcast, since now I know who the hell it is. And he's got John Offerdahl. Speaking of Richard Todd, they did a pretty good number on him in Miami in that championship game. And I believe John Offerdahl was part of that Miami team. Michael, they lose every week. Shake my head for the last 6 years. Well, that's fair. That's fair. You know, Tom Brady had a great, John and guys, we talk about, and I get frustrated when I see people in chat rooms, and once in a while we'll get somebody in here chatting about scripted games and fixed games, right? And it's a lot of bullshit. I'm sorry. Excuse my French. There's no way the NFL's scripting games. This isn't, ABC Entertainment saying, here's the script for this week. And the best evidence for this, the best line I ever heard about this, I should say, really not evidence. I guess you could take it as evidence. I do. Tom Brady was doing an interview here a few months back, and they talked to him about all the rumors about not fixed games, but really scripted games, right? What's a script? Fixed, same thing. You have a predetermined outcome. It will go this way. You'll fumble here. We'll let you score there. And if it doesn't go well, don't worry. We'll let the referees fix it all. Put your tinfoil hat on and go sit in the corner. Anyway, Tom Brady was asked about the fact that a lot of people think that these games are scripted. And his answer was, are you kidding me? He laughed. And he said, do you think that there's any universe that I would sign off on losing to Eli Manning and the Giants twice in the Super Bowl? No, not in any universe would I sign up on a script that told me I had to do that. That's all you need to know. 3 things we don't agree on. Keith, 3 things. We don't agree on Joe Namath. Being stuck on a ship in the middle of the ocean. We do hit land, John. I mean, we were there for 14 days. We had 7 days at sea. 7 ports. Going to Alaska in July. Can't wait. By the way, it's during a time where it's light, almost perfectly daylight for 24 hours a day. Might play havoc with my sleeping. That's a good one, though, John. That's awesome. We don't disagree on Joe Namath. Well, we do a little bit. I love Joe Namath. A.J. Dewey's intercepted Todd 3 times, but Offerdahl was on that game. He was in that game, wasn't he? You had A.J. Dewey on. He still has a mud in his cleats from that game. I asked Richard Todd if he thought Coach Shula forgot the tarp that day, or he said he does not think that Don Shula accidentally forgot to tell somebody to put the tarp on the field. Good to have you with me today, JB. Good to have you all of you with me. I had fun. I'm not going to stick around too long. We're going to run. I promised that I would do an impromptu Sunday stream of consciousness today. We're back. We're better than ever. We'll be on at 8 o'clock tomorrow with Jack. We'll be back on our regular schedule for all the shows this week. I thank you guys for bearing with me during my vacation. I had to go live on Facebook because StreamYard wouldn't work with the internet connection that I had. But hopefully you enjoyed the shows that Jack and I put together to fill in the Mondays and Fridays. We had some fun doing it. Had fun with the boxing show specifically with Jack. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Got your Jack. After seeing Titanic many times, you couldn't pay me to get out. It's not for everybody. I will say it's not for everybody, but it's for me. John, I will tell you something. The most peaceful time for me is on a cruise ship, early in the morning, middle of the afternoon, late at night, sitting on my balcony, watching that ocean go by, see the sun. I can see the moonlight coming from where it is all the way to my balcony, the sunset, doing the same thing, sunrise, and sometimes not all. It is as peaceful as any place you'll ever be in your life. And I've been on about, 30 cruises, maybe more. Now we go 3 times a year. Never had an instance. Don't pay attention to Dateline or Titanic. That was in 1912, and they hit an iceberg. The iceberg's in the Caribbean. Jets were better than the fish in 82. I agree. By the way, John, agree 100%. I talked to Richard Todd, and I guess we're going to go a few minutes longer now. When I talked to Richard Todd, and by the way, John, speaking of Joe Namath, I've reached out to Joe Namath a gazillion times to do an interview. I've never got a response. Found a few places to try to reach out to him. He's probably not seeing it. I'm not saying he's blowing me off, but I'd love to have Joe on. And we talked a lot about Namath with Richard Todd, but Todd knows that team was good. I know that team was good. 1982, right? Is that what we said? I believe that was a strike season. The Jets were, what was the record? 10-1, I'm not sure. I think they played 11 games, strike shortened season. Jets were a better team, and Shula knew it. Shula left the tarp off the field to slow down Freeman McNeil and slow down Wesley Walker. And Wesley Walker was a great interview as well. He gave me some really interesting insight on those Jet teams and some dynamics and a couple of clicks that you would like to think weren't there, but I have no reason to doubt a guy who was right there. But that was a good football team, and I think on any other day they beat them. In any other situation, they beat them. Richard Todd took a lot of grief for that, I think, right? Todd was a decent football player. He was not a bad quarterback again, in the right circumstance. As he was playing for Walt Michaels, really good quarterback. First few years under Joe Walton, good quarterback. Moved on, had a few moments in New Orleans. He was a lot of fun to interview. He really was. Richard Todd, Wesley Walker, Freeman, New York Sack Exchange. Yeah, it was a very talented team. My team was not very good at the time. There were a few years later, but not then. We'll get you on a cruise. When we have our TGI Sports Talk cruise, when I'm 90, we'll get you on there, John. But I think we'll wrap it up here, guys. Oh, we got one more. Who's that, JB? Going back a few years, if we're talking about good Jet teams. Who is that? Who is he talk football? Or at talk football? Who is that? Football talk, sorry. I got my Yoda hat on, apparently. Now I got to stick around. I got to see who this is and find out who their team is. We can't ridicule other people's teams at Football Talk, excuse me, without just disclosing who your team is. Help me out here, bud. It's Bo. Oh, I don't see this one. I can't see the logo or the profile picture. I should have known. It's Bo. All right, so Bo is ripping. John, you can get into Bo Crouch about the Giants. Now it's Bo. Seattle Seahawks. They do have a Super Bowl win, John. What's happened in this game? Why is everybody cheering for the Cowboys? Nice catch. Did they score the last time down, or what's the deal? Oh, what's the picture that Sonia posted? I didn't see the Cowboy game last week, obviously. But what was that picture of Pickens? What was he doing to the goalpost? Oh, God. That did sound like Danny, though, didn't it? Danny didn't make it. I put a little blurb out on the chat that we'd be going live, but I can't blame him for not making it. We came on live. I said, again, when I did the National Streaming Sports Big Football Show this morning, I promised my peeps that I'd come live at some point today. So we spent now an hour and 20 minutes. I told my wife I'd be back at 5:30, back upstairs at 5:30. Still not there. So anyway, guys, it's been an interesting, lot of stuff. We talked some college football. We talked some pro football. We got to watch some games live for a change today. And as I said, we'll be back with our regular schedule the rest of this week. And we'll be back with the boys on Wednesday night with the Unprofessional Professional Sports Show, the College Football Huddle at 7. That'll be at 6 Eastern. College Football Huddle at 7. Well, Jack and I are on Friday and Monday and Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern live. And Sunday Stream of Consciousness back 9 to 11 next week as well. You guys won't let me go. We never leave a comment unput up. People counting out KC sheer stupidity. Listen, I've said that for 3 years now, John. Every year. Count them out. This was a must-win for them, though, in my mind. They had to win this game today, and they did. And John, I don't know if you were here earlier. I was talking about Brian mentioned this morning. Last year, the Chiefs were 12-0 in one-score games. This year, 0-7. And I had said, and been saying the last couple of weeks, where the Chiefs really had been lacking was end-of-game situations where they just thrived through their whole this whole little dynasty. They have not thrived this year, and today they did. They came back in the fourth quarter to tie that game, and they win it in overtime. Big win. Don't count the Chiefs out. You do so at your own risk. And by the way, when I say the Patriots are Super Bowl contenders, I mean just that. It does not mean I think they're better than Kansas City. I don't mean I think they're better than the Broncos. It doesn't mean I think they're better than the Bills, even though we beat them. And the Bills seem to be imploding a bit. For some reason, people jumping on that post again, which is a 15-yard unsportsmanlike penalty. I don't remember seeing it. All I got is a still shot of him humping the freaking goalpost. It actually wasn't a bad loss for. No, I agree, 100%, Bo. And I started to talk about that a little bit earlier, and I probably got distracted away from it. But no, I think the Colts showed that they can go to a very tough place to play late in the season, and they played well. And they could have and probably should have won that game. But again, they're still 9-3, and you are what your record says you are, and they're 9-3. They don't have the best record in the conference, and I know another team that does. They do not have anything to be ashamed of. I like the way the Bears have played. A lot of people want to rip Caleb Williams, and he's a bit inconsistent, and I get it. But this team is well coached. Caleb Williams is making progress. We don't want to give guys any time, right? Caleb Williams, second year in the league. He sucks. Get rid of him. Too inconsistent. Bad decisions. Bo Nix played horribly early in the year. J.J. McCarthy can't play. No good. Move on. Giant big mistake. Why don't we give guys a chance to play and grow? It gets frustrating. And I know I'm guilty of the same thing sometimes, but I try to be level-headed. Pat's a young team, but they've improved greatly. Coaching, culture, coaching, put it whatever order you want, makes a huge difference. That team, and that, by the way, that's the worst game they've played in 10 weeks, and they won. I don't care if that team had 3 wins or 15 wins. I could care less. They went on the road in the NFL. Yeah. They're in the NFL. They went on the road and won. Not playing their best football. Tells me something. All Giant fans want Danny Dimes to choke. Danny Dimes, I said while he was in New York, once he gets out of New York and into a good situation for him, he will thrive. Here he is. New York's a tough place to play. And I'm not saying that Daniel Jones or Bo's quarterback, whose name is for whatever, Sam Darnold, aren't to blame for their failures in New York. But Jack disagrees with me all the time about this. New York is a tough place to play. It's much harder to play in New York than it is to play in Indianapolis or Minnesota or Seattle. Sorry, it just is. And I don't care if we're talking football or baseball or basketball. You have to have a different type of makeup to play there, here. Detroit didn't look good. What's their record? I don't disagree. I mean, play badly and win, it still goes into the W the same way all the other ones do. They count just as much. Again, I'm going to tell you guys, Jack argues with me all the time. He did again this morning that this team is just getting by on smoke and mirrors, and this team, that's what his Super Bowl team is doing, by the way, the Bucs. And it's going to catch up with them. It'll catch up with them in the playoffs. And that's not entirely untrue. I'm not saying that it is, but it isn't necessarily true either, because just because you dominate during the regular season does not mean you're going to succeed in the playoffs. We saw a lot of Marty Schottenheimer teams dominate regular seasons and fail in the playoffs. I watched my own New England Patriots go 16-0 and win games by 25, 30 points every single week. And what happened to them? John, you know. Regular season doesn't mean anything once you get to the playoffs. Doesn't mean whether you've been winning by the skin of your teeth, winning ugly, winning pretty, blowing teams out. Nothing matters. None of what happened before matters. What's this? Williams' issue is he plays well for the scripted play, the first 10 or 15, but then has a nose. Well, again, he's winning games, too. We got to give him credit for winning games. We blame quarterbacks when they don't win. Can't they play okay and get some of the credit? Jack wants to give – listen, I said I was signing off, right? Jack, the Texans played great against Buffalo on defense the other night. The best defensive performance I think I've seen all year. But he wants to give no credit to Davis Mills for righting the ship when he was 1 for 8 and missed like 3 easy touchdowns in the first quarter, first half. He led them and made some big plays and was responsible in his own way for that victory. So Caleb Williams has got to be responsible for some of these wins, regardless whether he struggles or not. That's all I'm saying. I love Vrabel. Culture, man. Culture freaking wins. Eagles sold team to beat. I said this morning, Rams are kind of under the radar for whatever reason. The Rams are really good. The Ducks. How'd Oregon get back in this conversation? You think the Bears win that division over the Lions? Fair. What's that look like? As we speak, live update. 8-3. They're in first place. The first place Caleb Williams led Bears. Good call, John. Listen, I'm not saying Caleb Williams is as good as Joe Namath or Tom Brady. See what I did there, John? I'm giving your boy some credit. I'm saying he's a work in progress who's 8-3. That's pretty good. Anyway, this time I'm going, guys. It's 6:00. My wife's going to have dinner. I got to get some sleep. We'll see you tomorrow morning with Jack. Have a great Sunday night, guys. Bye-bye.